This is one way that you can add a little bit more presence to your basses or your 808s without messing up like that clean low end information. Let's say we have this 808 here. This is just a spectrogram plugin, so it's showing us where the most amount of energy is and at what frequency. So this is an 808. We have a huge signal down in like the sub range, 60, 50, 40 hertz. And then these kind of smaller sections up here that are like red and orange and slowly fade away are the upper harmonics. So as we go up in frequency, when it starts reaching like 400 or 500 hertz, this 808 becomes a lot quieter. And what that means is like on smaller systems, you're playing it out of your phone or a laptop or something, it might be difficult to hear this 808. One way to address this is just grab a saturator and let me just turn up the drive a little bit. And that's great. So I turn it on, we have more harmonics. We'll probably be able to hear it a little bit better, but if you can see this like huge angry red blob underneath, that's something that we're trying to avoid. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to try and mix later on. This is a whole bunch of energy that we just don't need to be dealing with. So how do we fix this? We're going to split the 808 into two parts, the upper harmonics and lower harmonics. So just grab an audio effect rack and I'm going to change it into this like list mode. And I'm going to grab a Pro Q3. I'm going to change this into linear phase because I don't want to be introducing any phase changes to this 808. So I'm just going to put this up at like 150. Duplicate this channel, just Command D. We'll call this one top and we'll call this one bottom. Now on the bottom channel, I'm basically just going to do the inverse. So I'm going to change this from a high pass to a low pass. And now we have this. Right? It essentially sounds the same. And let's just compare the before and after. So this is before and this is after. So it looks like it's a little bit louder in the top. So I'm just going to turn down the top part of the 808 by 3 dB. All right, we're close enough. So now what we can do is we can basically process the top part of the 808, which is this, and the bottom part, the low kind of subby stuff, completely independently of each other. So I'm going to click on the top. I'm going to add some saturation. Let's add a little bit of drive, turn the soft clipping on. Let's see what this looks like now versus no saturation. Right, we can see that there's like a lot more harmonic content kind of when we get to that 200-300, you know, up to 1,000, and you can even dial this in like a little bit more if you want to. And again, what this is allowing us to do is add harmonics to the top part of this 808 and add that presence that we're looking for without like drastically affecting kind of the clean low end. And because we're using a linear phase EQ, we're not introducing any like phase differences. So take a look at the waveform underneath at the spectrogram and you'll see that like the waveform doesn't really change. It gets bigger, but it's not shifting the phase at all, which is great because, again, we don't want to be introducing any weird phasing issues with like our low end content.